101.1 or AM 1160 WCCS. Saturday mornings 9 to noon. We give away lottery tickets too. The Oldies Attic, where the memories come from the music.
Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank. It is 8:12, and it's time for our interview presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Jeff Wacker joining us this morning here on Indiana in the Morning from IUP's Community Music School. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Glad you're feeling that way. Glad that things are getting geared up because this is a big weekend for Community Music School. This is the concert weekend.
It is. It's actually been a very busy summer because we do private lessons all summer as well, in addition to the band. And we've had 85 students taking private lessons this summer.
Wow. So that's pretty good. Now, are those 85 students part of this concert that's going to take place tomorrow? Or is
Some are.
Some are. Okay.
Some do. Most of them are younger, but a few do also play in the band. The band this year is ballooned up to over 90 people.
Nice. No, that is awesome. And I mean, there is something to be said for a community band or a this sort of band of community members joining in.
Yeah, it's been a really neat experience to switch it over into a sort of a hybrid model where we have it as a class during the fall and the spring semesters, but it's also part of the community band. So we get music students on their secondary instruments.
Yeah.
We get IUP students who are any major, and then we get community members all during the fall and the spring. And then in the summer, what's really cool is that a lot of IUP alumni come back.
Oh, wow.
So this is almost like a mini IUP alumni band with a ton of community members, and it's really been fun to watch them come together and share stories and start rehearsing, and it's going to be a fun concert tomorrow night.
To brag a little bit about the conductor, Jason Worsbit, is that right?
That's our little rascally Jason Worsbit, yes.
Yeah. I said brag, not rag.
I have to do both, but he is the bassoon professor and also teaches a variety of classes and conducting over in the music department. He's been there, I think, now 26 years.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but he is just a fabulous guy, loves teaching, loves music, and just is really wonderful with community bands, with students. He does district, regional, all-state bands. He just is a great music educator who cares a lot about music and that. So
that's what I think you need out of a conductor. You need somebody who's willing to teach as well, because half of it is teaching the music in that regard.
Oh, absolutely.
So what's going to be on the program for this Saturday?
Oh, we've got a ton of things. In fact, there's so many that I had to put them on my
to make
phone
notes. Okay.
to make notes about all of them. I'll start off first. You always have to have a soloist for a summer outdoor band concert. And the soloist this year is Dr. Jeremy Unholtz. And Jer is the trombone professor at IUP, and he's actually a graduate of IUP music. And
nice.
Went on, got master's, doctorate degree down at North Texas, and is now back, excuse me, as the professor of trombone. He's doing a really cool piece called Thoughts of Love by Arthur Pryor. Arthur Pryor was a turn-of-the-century bandsman. He played in the Sousa Band. He had his own band that he took over from his father in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Wow.
And just a tremendous player, soloist, wrote a lot of different pieces. Bluebells of Scotland is another one. But tomorrow night, Thoughts of Love is what Jeremiah's playing, and I listened to it Wednesday night at rehearsal, and it's like, he's just an amazing player, and it's a fun piece.
Knocked it out, huh?
That's our soloist. Of course, there's a lot of marches. You got to have a lot of marches on a summer band.
On a summer band, yeah.
Yeah, but some that I don't think that you've necessarily heard of before. So, for instance, there's the Dam Busters March by Eric Coates.
No, I've not heard of this.
That goes back to a movie in the 50s called The Dam Busters.
Okay.
Also, there's the American Red Cross March,
Okay.
and that was written by Louis Pinella, and that celebrates the American Red Cross, who does so much great work in our country. On the Mall by Edwin Franco Goldman. He's a classic march composer. And, of course, Semper Fidelis, Liberty Bell of John Philip Sousa.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When are we getting to Sousa?
You got to have a couple Sousa marches, so those are on there too. But then he's doing a couple other pieces, music from The King and I by Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Oh, wow. You talk about music
Yeah.
that's beautiful. That is it.
Yeah.
Songs like Getting to Know You and I'm trying to think. Oh, I can't think of the names of the other ones, but Getting to Know You is the one that always comes to mind when you think of The King and I.
Yeah, that's just great music, and it's just a nice arrangement of several of those into
So a good
into that
medley
piece.
then,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. There's a piece that they're doing called "The Great Escape."
Okay, film of the same name?
Yes, exactly.
yes,
yeah,
yes.
you're dead on that one. That was the early I think it was 1961.
Yeah.
And it was about World War II POWs and trying to escape. And the composer is a guy named Elmer Bernstein.
I've heard of Elmer Bernstein's music. Yes, he was kind of back then what a John Williams would be today in certain regards.
Exactly. In fact, if I started naming off a lot of the movies that he's done film scores for, you would go, "Oh, really?
I know that song. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
how about like
Go ahead.
the Blues Brothers?
Yeah.
Stripes.
Okay.
Airplane.
Yes.
Meatballs. Magnificent Seven. Thoroughly Modern Millie.
That's right.
There's a ton of them that people don't necessarily associate with Elmer Bernstein.
Yeah. Oh, and the Magnificent Seven, that famous theme. I mean, that is his creation. That is one of his greatest legacies. Why was I thinking West Side Story for a second? I might be thinking of somebody else.
Well, you're thinking of Leonard Bernstein.
Leonard Bernstein.
No relation.
No relation. All right. All right. So I'm sorry about that. But that sounds like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's good. And then, of course, you've got a little bit of Americana in there with the famous Carmen Dragon, America the Beautiful. As a first bandsman, I think I played that about 18,000 times in my 30-year career. But it's a classic that everybody loves. Let's do a salute to the armed services, the classic medley that has all of the service songs in there.
Okay, yeah.
Although I don't believe anybody has done it yet. That now includes the
Space
Force.
Patrol.
Yeah, the Space Force one.
Yeah.
They still need to add that in there, but it's got all the other service branches.
Now, I do remember Todd playing it like a year or so ago. Whenever they actually introduced it, it actually is halfway decent of a military theme song.
Sure,
it's in the tradition of some of the others, like "Off We Go" and from the Halls of Montezuma and all the others. It's in that vein, and it sounded pretty good. So I can't wait to see when that will be included in the military salutes.
it was better than I expected, shall we say?
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm not sure it holds up to the Marines, the Air Force, the Army, the Navy song.
But it's not
bad. But they'll be doing that as well. And also a couple classic ones that you might typically hear on the stage, like the English folk song Suite of Ralph Vaughan Williams. Going to do a movement from that.
Okay.
So it's a little more indoor, but at the same time, it's a great band work. So I think it's got a little bit of something for everyone.
Now, this is going to be an outdoor concert. That's the
Outdoor
big
concert
thing, yeah.
in the Oak Grove, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. The band sets up right in front of Fisher on the patio, and then everybody else just sits wherever they would like to in the Oak Grove. Find some shade. It's going to be about 85 to 90 degrees.
Yeah. So, about 89 for a high. Bring your lawn chair.
Bring a lawn chair. There are some Adirondack chairs out in the Oak Grove now that IEP's had out there for a couple of years, and people move those around, and those are great, but it's best to bring a lawn chair. I think last year we had almost 300 people, and probably more this year. So definitely bring some water and something to drink and a lawn chair and have a great time.
That sounds great. So what can you tell us about what's coming up in the fall?
In the fall, we are back to our normally scheduled programming, which is a lot of lessons, which is all of the ensembles kicking back off again, our Crimson Youth Choir, our Indiana Community Choir with the adults, the band, off and rolling. I usually open up that registration for early August. Usually the first week of August, people can start registering. If they're already in the community music school, they just email me.
Right.
And if they're not, they use the online form. Tell me what they'd like to do, and then I get them set up with an instructor, and away we go.
All right, and it's that easy to join up with the music school.
It
with
is.
the community music school. It's just fill out a form. What do you want to do, and what do you want to learn?
That's exactly it. And it was funny on Facebook this morning. I saw a thing about when young people sing in choirs and play in bands. What they're getting truly a lifelong gift of music.
Oh,
and that's what we're trying to do.
And you're looking at one right here because I played piano, I played baritone horn, I sang in choir.
Right.
Yeah, so I've done a little bit of everything. But as you saw me gush over Elmer Bernstein's music there, you knew what I love the stuff.
Yeah.
But it's amazing also how it also affects people emotionally. Whenever you hear those melodies that really stir people up, whether it's a patriotic melody or something that's romantic, and you see that emotion out in the audience, that is killer. That is a great feeling.
Absolutely. That's one of the favorite things that, when I was an Air Force bandsman for 30 years, playing concerts out in communities like this and watching how people felt about their country and the music and how it affected them. That's the best part of the job.
All
Absolutely.
Right. Excellent. So let's get the particulars again. This Saturday, 7 p.m. At the Oak Grove in front of Fisher.
Yep.
And it is free and open to the public.
Of course, absolutely.
All right. And if people want more information about the IUP Community Music School, where can they find you?
They can email me at community-music@iup.edu. That's a great way to do it. Or they can just give me a call, 724-357-4565. That's my direct line, and you'll get me.
Excellent. Jeff, thank you very much for coming in on Indiana in the Morning. I hope everybody has a fun time at the concert, not just the attendees, but the performers as well.
They will have a great time, I guarantee it.
Thanks again,
Thank
Jeff.
You bet.
Jeff Wacker from the Arts and Education Services. He is the coordinator of Arts and Education Services for the Lively Arts and the IUP Community Music School, joining us on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Our interview presented by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Personal Injury Law Firm, Best of Indiana County Contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. 8:24 on Indiana in the Morning, and I will tell you, coming up in our next half hour, we'll be talking with State Representative Jim Struzzi. The budget passed 2 weeks late, but it's now active and official for the state of Pennsylvania. So we'll talk with Jim about some of the stumbling blocks in the negotiations, and we'll talk about some of the other issues that happen, because education is definitely a big part of it, but we'll also talk about some of the other things that this budget is going to provide Pennsylvanians this year. That's coming up in our next half hour. And in our 9 o'clock hour, we'll be talking with Lynette Yarnick, and we'll try to get a hold of our friends over at PA Career Link, and John Moses of the Altoona Curve in our 9:45 segment. Jake will be helping me out with that interview. That's all coming up later this morning on Indiana in the Morning. But right now, it is time for the Sports Minute. And after that, and a few quick words, we'll have a check of news headlines right at the bottom half of the hour.
Homer Esiason with a Sports Minute, sponsored by Napa Silent Guard Brakes. At the Scottish Open yesterday, Colin Morikawa landed his ball 10 feet from the pin on the par 4, 448-yard number 8. Then, incredibly, and I've never seen this, folks, Ludwig Oberg's approach shot landed almost directly on top of Morikawa's ball. Of course, Morikawa reset his ball at the original location and birdied. Oberg remained 81 feet away and, unfortunately, bogeyed. I'm Homer Esiason.
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Feed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa